Welcome, 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 everyone. Thank you for coming to another Post-Maafa Reconstruction. We are here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is Arizona time. We're here to discuss with our family. We're explaining exactly what we're doing as a company, and we're introducing different scholars to our platform. Today, we have a beautiful, beautiful um, special guest, Miss Quality Jones, and we will definitely be introducing you to her at the during the segment at 6:30. Currently, we do have our co-host, Miss Lizzie Woody. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, now that I'm back on, my name is Lizzie Woody. Um, I am the public relations person for MelaNation App, and I've been here in Arizona for, I always say this, for about 40 years. And those years have been me connecting with the community, sharing information, and just trying to empower us as a people. Um, and I love what I do. And Melanation came around, and it's like, oh, wow, that be me. And I joined, I became a member immediately. And I love what we're doing.
Yes, indeed. And Miss Lizzie Woody has been a phenomenal help. She has integrated in the city of Phoenix very well with the Black community, the conscious community. So she's has a lot of doors open to her just for being familiar with the people and being family with the people. And she's been able to help Melanation have more of a presence in Phoenix. So we definitely thank you, Miss Lizzie Woody.
My pleasure, and thank you.
And again, I'm Tahuti Forever. Um, I am the architect of Melanation, which is a social media app with over 400 pages, which we will be releasing September 2025, September 15th, 2027. So you can find us, family, on YouTube at MelaNation App. You can find us on Facebook at MelaNation App. And if you choose to donate to the cause, you can donate to the Cash App at dollar sign MelaNation App. What I'd like to do is explain to you what our mission is for MelaNation. We are a social media ecosystem for melanated users. Again, we have over 400 pages of state-of-the-art features. The purpose of our company is to gather our community in one location. There's a lot of Black apps. We understand that there are a lot of different Black apps that's come out before, and what makes Melanation different is that we're doing it at a higher quality. We're doing it at a higher quality, making sure that we have the most state-of-the-art features, and we're keeping our ears to the public. If we have opportunities that are available, we will be investing in those opportunities. We are not out here. The funding has already been applied towards the app. All the contracts have already been made. It's already in development. And what I'll do now is I'll share with you the melanation.co page. Let me go ahead and share the screen really quick, or I'll actually share with you the promo for the app. Let's see how big I can make this screen here. So this is the app. This is what the app will look like when it launches. This is the home screen. And if I click on the Melanation logo on the top left, it'll get us over to the different features that we have. Last session, we went over delegates, and it took us a while to go over the delegates. But I want everyone here that's watching to understand that the app is governed by a set of people that the users of the app will be voting for. So as you are a user of the app, you will have the opportunity to vote for our delegates. And the delegates will be charged with several different criteria. They'll be charged with creating new streams of income. They'll be charged with offering social services to the community, and they will be charged with creating jobs for the community. Based on those criteria, they will be assessed as far as how their performance is going. Today, what we'll go into is let's do the leaderboard today. Here is the leaderboard. The very top three users who has the most points in the app will be on the top, and they'll be more prevalently seen on the leaderboard. The way you earn points is by interacting on the app. So as you do certain activities, you gain credits, you gain points. And the more points you have, the higher you go up on the leaderboard. So let's say you like someone's post, you will get credit for liking someone's post, and they will also get credit for being a post that they created that you liked. So it's one hand washes the other, and the top 800 users on this leaderboard have the opportunity to become an assessor. So the leaderboard is not just here for kudos. It actually gives you an opportunity to assess our company as a whole. The assessors are the people who engage with the delegates, and they give the delegates their actual quality assurance points. So the delegates have to respond to the assessors. And again, the assessors are everyday users of the app who are the top 800 users on the leaderboard. And again, you have to be on the leaderboard prime. So the collective board here on the left is all users in general. But because this is called MelaNation, we want to make sure that the actual structure and the actual guidance in the direction of the company is in the hands of melanated users. So in order to become on the Prime board, you have to actually verify that you are a melanated user, and at which point you'll be eligible to become a delegate, run for delegate, and you'll be eligible to become an assessor. So that's how the leaderboard works. And here you can see we do have movies. So you'll be able to download this to your Apple or your iPhone, your Google, or your Android. You'll also be able to download it to the television, and you'll be able to stream movies. So we want to make sure that we have all the entertainment that we need. If there's any lack, we have our ears open to the community. Let me go ahead and share another screen here really quick. Miss Lizzie? Miss Lizzie Woody. Your mic is muted. So what I'm going to share is a brief commercial. Give me one moment to upload this commercial here.
The emergence of an inspired event is now on the move, requiring all hands on deck. So here's why you should share. We have substantially invested in a systematic approach to Black economics. Our mission is to empower and uplift our community, both online and in the physical world where birds fly. Interestingly, your monthly vote steers the direction of the company. Introducing MelaNation, a cutting-edge TV and an internet platform. It's making its way to the world stage with over 400 pages of state-of-the-art features. Features include movie streaming, a production studio for influencers where your production will be displayed through the television, a dating site that can be accessed through the TV, a Google Maps-powered satellite mapping system for registered Black-owned businesses and entertainment, making it easier for you to locate the community near you, and much more. We're bringing everything the community needs under one roof in order to build the proper infrastructure across the nation. Learn more on the Facebook page, family. The time is now for your participation.
So we are really bringing everything under one roof, and we're looking for participation from our community. That's why we're here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. so that you understand that your comments are very necessary for us to understand what opportunities are available. As when the app is released, everything is going to be beautiful, but we're going to continue to expand, and we need to know which direction our community wants us to expand in. So that is the point of being here and being available. Now you can find us and you can reach out to us on our website, which is melanation.co. Let me go ahead and pull up the website here. Okay, so you can reach us on melanation.co. This is melanation.co. It will send you over to our Facebook page so you can join the community. We also have a messenger group where we're interacting on a daily basis. Every melanation starts with you. A melanation community is an all-in-one powerful platform designed to connect, empower, elevate the global melanated community. From networking to business growth, content, event, and opportunities, everything lives in one ecosystem. The melanated community is not just another social media app, it's a digital nation where culture, commerce, and collaboration come together. Whether you're a creator, entrepreneur, professional, or community leader, this is your home. The post-Maafa Reconstruction phase begins with narrative sovereignty. After centuries of displacement, extraction, and distortion, our first responsibility is to reclaim our power to define our reality for ourselves. Reconstruction cannot occur while our stories are being told by outsiders, filtered through hostile systems, or reduced to spectacle. A people disconnected from their own narrative cannot coordinate their future. So the very first thing you'll see when you log on to the app is going to be Mela News. We're going to be informing you of what's going on in our communities as well as what's going on in our company. That's the very first thing you'll see. If there's something going on in your community, you'll have an outlet where you can upload the information so that we can get it out to the masses. We spoke about delegates a moment ago. MelaNation is a digital representation of the conscious community, placing the fate of the community back into the hands of the community itself. To achieve this, MelaNation is governed by a committee of delegates chosen directly by the people. Leadership cannot be appointed from above nor concentrated in isolation. Delegates are selected through collective decision making, funded and staffed by the community, and empowered only to the extent that they produce measurable positive impact. So you as the user of the app will be able to assess our delegates if you become an assessor. So if you're one of our main users that are gaining points on a daily basis and you've risen to the top of the leaderboard, you will have the authority to actually give an impact to how the quality of our assessors and the measurement that you give to them will affect their actual ability to stay in office. So we want to make sure that our leadership has the funding that they need, has the staffing that they need to accomplish the goals that they select. So they're going to delegate, they're going to control the funds, but it has to produce an effect on the community that is that's qualified, that we agree is a good effect. And if that's not happening, we just assess the leadership until we find the correct people to be in that position to represent us as a whole. I did mention that MelaNation has movies, so you can download the app to the MelaNation to your television. And we utilize entertainment as a strategy gateway to reach the community at large. Culture draws us in, but consciousness keeps us together. Through shared stories, music, and creativity, we gather the people, transforming attention into alignment and participation into purpose. Galvanizing the community is not a slogan, it's a mechanism for empowerment. So, again, we have over 400 pages. As a company, we're going to start receiving the very first downloadable version of the app. We should be receiving that sometime next month. At least that's what we're expecting. For it's not something that's going to be public. It's going to be just for the community that has registered with us. Not really registered because we just have a community on Messenger. So all you have to do is come onto Messenger and let us know that you're here and that you support what we're doing. And by being part of that particular community, you'll get the link and you'll get the information of how to access the first versions of the app before anyone else, so that we can test it out. And again, we're going to continue to expand the app, the features of the app. Will continue to load month by month until we reach the date of launch. Now, the date that we were expecting to launch is September 15th, 2027. However, if we launch prior to that, that would be great. Again, there's 400 pages, and let me switch over to the actual promo of the app, the actual face of the app, so we can see a little better as far as what the app provides.
To shape the direction of this community.
And that is not it. Let's remove that. Miss Lizzie.
Yes, sir.
How's it going? Is there anything that you wanted me to go into in particular while we have this 10 minutes?
You want to talk about, have we discussed the prototype that's out?
Yeah, let me pull that up. Get back into that.
Because it was fascinating to me. See that.
Okay, so that's coming back up now. So this was what the app will actually look like. Right now we're on the movie screen of the app. Let me hit on the very bottom, it normally has the home screen, so you can toggle back to the home screen. I tried to make the app as user-friendly as possible, giving multiple ways of doing the same thing so that you don't have to go looking for certain buttons, and it's really easy to use. So at any point, you can normally swipe left to right to get to the features page. And you can also just click the logo here to get to the features page at any point. So we've discussed the delegates, we've discussed the leaderboard. Let's discuss the virtual map. So this virtual map is powered by Google. And what it is a registration for our users as well as our businesses. And there are certain features here on top. You can look at all Mela users and they'll show up in your community. You can filter any events that are coming up today, tomorrow, next week, next year. You can actually filter it by date. You can only search for verified users because MelaNation is open to everyone. However, the people who are going to be in charge or in control of the app, have the power of the app, will only be melanated users. And that's what we're dedicated to do and to continue to do, is to make sure that our company is melanated and unapologetic melanated. So the power of the company will always be in the hands of melanated users. So though everyone can use the app, the only ones that will control the direction that the app is going to grow and expand in are melanated users. So you can filter just to see who are the melanated users of the app that's registered. Here on top, you can go to businesses and you can filter out again, search for different businesses in your location, in your area, or in area. Let's say you're visiting, you're traveling and you're on vacation. You go to Manhattan, and you want to know who's registered with the app, who's registered, who are the melanated companies out in Manhattan. You just pull it up, and then you'll filter for that area.
Also, I saw where, there's job listings
Yes. So we
and
have job listings here. So let's say you're looking for employment, you can search it here on the map as well, and it'll show you the jobs that's nearest to you. Same thing with events. Um, so any melanated events that's happening, you can search for it. This can be anything from, nightclubs to lectures, anything that's been registered, you'll be able to search it out and you'll be able to filter the timing and the date, if it's today, next week, or whatnot. So this map basically, we put everything on the map we integrated everything on the map that is inside of the app, just making it so that you can see it on a grid, and it'll place you on the map so you know where you are to compared to everyone else. It gives you a number to the community, how many people are interacting in that community. But basically, all the different features, you'll find it on this map. So even family members, because we have a family tree, you can find the family members that's registered as well, verified users. You can find people who are selling things. So the Melon Market is also loaded into this Google Maps. So let's say someone is selling a car, or you're looking for to rent out a house, or you're just looking for clothing or shoes or anything. If it's loaded in the Melon Market, you'll be able to actually find it here on the map, and that helps you make things a little more organized to see the distance away from it that you're trying to purchase. So that's the purpose of this map here, and it is powered by Google. So Google is a third-party resource that we're using to create this map.
also, could you explain a little bit about the Mela TV? I see it live. I'm going to say live TV for the different stations or.
Yes. So Melody TV is going to be a little bit different from some of the other apps. Basically, we're trying to put every resource on every outlet that we have. So on Mela TV, it's going to be similar to YouTube, where you have your own account, right? You have your own videos. You can go live on Mela TV, right? So, and anyone that's you can share your content to everyone else through the television. Anyone that's subscribed to your channel, they'll be able to, let's see, how do I back out of here? They'll be able to see you, and they'll get notifications that you're going live. Also, the icons here, that's just live networks, live TV networks. So you'll be integrated on the television through your own profile, um, as well as Mela Dating. Mela Dating, there'll be live videos for people who are looking to date. You'll be able to see them live. You'll be able to see videos, pre-recorded videos on here. Mela News will be on here. As the delegates are campaigning to become delegates, or running to become delegates, you'll be able to see their campaigns through the Mela TV. Let's see, of course, you have popular TV shows. You'll have Mela Shorts. These are videos that our users create through our Mela Studios. So you can create your own videos in our studio, and they'll go on to your Mela Shorts, trending TV shows, and then of course you just got the regular movies. So we're trying to put all the resources that we would need to have a really beautifully functioning, not just watching TV, but be immersed in the channel itself, like you have your own channel. So that's the concept behind Mela TV. Let me take a look here. The last thing I'll touch on within the next couple of minutes is courses. So our courses here, basically you'll log in. If you are an instructor, you'll register as an instructor. Some instructors will be, um, let's say, recognized instructors with their criteria and their certificates, and they will be separated from the random person who has something to teach. So even if you don't have your licensing, you can still come on here as an instructor. It'll just be separated from the population and the instructors that's actually gone through training and gotten their degrees in the areas. And here you'll see students. If you're looking for instructors, you'll come on as a student. You can find different courses, or you can find live sessions. And again, we're looking to basically offer the tools that we need so we can educate our community. Um, and any areas that we can expand in, we're always looking to do that. So again, here on this front screen, what you'll see is Mela News. You'll see a scroll list for different features. You'll see the Mela Television. Anyone who's been performing admirably on our app may be highlighted, might be set aside and be placed on the front screen so that everyone understands their accomplishments. It'll be just under high listed profiles. And of course, on the front screen, you'll also see the delegation. Um, so you'll be able to view all the delegates that are representing us as a whole, as a community. All right, let me go ahead and stop sharing the screen and let me focus on our next segment here. Miss Lizzie, did you have anything you wanted to add? Let me go ahead and pull up the information. Let me pull up one moment.
I would just like to encourage the community to actually, check us out, just to see what we're doing.
Yes, indeed. The community can definitely help. There's a lot of help that the community can do, which is free, doesn't cost anything. Log on to our webpage, log on to our site, share the content, share the information. All right, all right. That's MelaNation. That's what we have for today. And we've now reached our MelaNomics segment. So let me go ahead and introduce our special guest speaker for today. Miss Quality Jones is a CEO and founder of Quality Jones Inc., a business consultant and education firm specializing in fundable business structures, corporate positioning, and alternative funding strategies. Known for her direct result driven approach, she helps entrepreneurs transition from relying on personal credit to building scalable, capital ready businesses. Her journey to success was forged through experience after launching multiple businesses that did not sustain beyond the first year. Quality gained firsthand insight into challenges entrepreneurs face when operating without proper structure. That turning point led her to master corporate structuring and funding strategies that prioritize long-term stability over short-term survival. Today, Through her signature program and systems, she built a community of entrepreneurs focused on structure first. Oh, I like that. Funding second, positioning their businesses to access capital opportunities offered, often overlooked by traditional models. Her work continues to empower businesses, owners, and shift from uncertainty to ownership, building businesses that are not only profitable but sustainable. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Welcome, Miss Quality Jones. How are you today?
I'm really good. Thank you guys for having me today.
Yes, yes. Can you please tell us a little bit about your origins? How did you get started?
Trial and error. Trial and error. I remember when I was 17, I worked at McDonald's for one day, and then I went to Burger King for 1 week. And when I left home from Burger King that first day, I said I'll never work for anybody else again.
Never again.
Yeah, and I made that decision that day. And I opened, man, 7 dance studios. So I used to teach dance for about 22 years. And then none of them were successful. I had 7 dance studios, and neither one of them made it to their 1 year anniversary. And by that time, I mean, total success, being on the front cover of newspapers, magazines, all of that, and still didn't make it. And at that point, people were already asking me, how did you even get that accomplished? And
Right.
so I decided to shift. I started just teaching business owners how to set their business up because that's all I knew at the time. And yeah, let's fast forward to now. And now 6 years in business and constant growth, just focused on helping people structure properly first and how important that structure is and how it can prevent you from getting the funding for your dream.
Ashe, Ashe. Now, when I first saw you, I found you on Facebook,
Mhm.
and I saw how powerful your voice is and how powerful your information that you're providing to the community. You're actually providing very important services that people are not trained on in our ecosystem, our economy. We don't, unless you've actually set aside the time to look up that information. Most of us are not trained in the area that you're teaching.
Yeah, and that makes me sad. It really makes me sad. What you heard on Facebook was my purpose and passion. You know, a lot of people get up there and they're like, "Oh, I can't listen to you too long. You're so loud." That's my passion. I can't shut up. I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. We all were told the same story. Go open a LLC. I fed into that story 7 different times. But the thing is, beyond that, we nobody told us what to do after that. Right. So we all end up getting this LLC and setting the business bank account up, and we go straight to making money. There's a lot of steps we miss in between. And so that's where I come in at. I like to explain how important the foundation is of a business and how that foundation can either crumble or it can help you build more foundations. But it's so interesting when I talk to so many different business owners and everybody's been fed the same. But I love when my passion speaks through those platforms because when I started, it was old school. We had to go get some flyers made at Office Depot. So
Hmm.
social media has definitely allowed me to reach more business owners, to educate more business owners, and I'm really excited about your app because this is going to be also an addition to that, being able to reach more business owners specifically that look like me, which is mainly the ones that's been misinformed. So,
Now, I know you definitely have different, what do you call it, presentations.
mhm.
If there's something that you want to present, feel free. Or we can continue our conversation because I definitely have a lot of questions here that I'd like to ask you.
So let me share my screen for just a moment. and then we can continue this conversation. I think I'm gonna answer most of your questions, though. That's typically how it works.
Okay, let's see if we can get this share screen going. This will be my first share screen. Let me take a look here.
Okay.
Do you have a share screen button on your computer?
It asked me to present,
Okay,
share screen. Yeah.
let's press that and see if I get a notification here.
Open settings and accepts. Awesome. All right. Allow. It's gonna make me get off of the disconnect. So that's where that's at.
I mean, I don't mind. You can log back in.
Okay, let's do that. All right.
Miss Lizzie.
Yes, sir.
So yes, I've been watching Quality Jones's videos, and she is very informed when it comes to more of the logistics of business.
Mhm.
So when it comes to filing the paperwork, making sure it's filed in your best interest, saying that either do you want to be incorporated organization, an LLC, how that impacts your abilities, how that impacts your funding situation, how does that impact if you're looking to get a grant. So this is the area that she normally informs our community in. So this is going to be a very fantastic presentation, and there's our listeners definitely listening closely because a lot of us have businesses, but we haven't had the formal training on how to incorporate or how to apply for a grant. We don't have those formal trainings, but she's coming with the knowledge for that type of formal training when it comes to incorporating or applying for grants or the difference between the legal legalities of an LLC versus a corporation. So were you able to, okay, yes, I see it. I see it here.
All right.
Let me remove this. We are good to
You're
go.
absolutely correct. Um, that's a serious issue as far as I'm concerned within our community. You know, having that
I didn't
business.
hear you. I didn't hear you.
Are you able to hear Miss Lizzie?
Just a
I'm,
little
I'm,
bit.
I'm, I'm sorry.
All right.
Can you hear
All right.
me?
I can hear you now.
No, no. I was saying that what you are about to do is a concern in our community because I would say a lot of our business owners are not familiar at all with some of the owning and operating a business uh, things that you should know about, and a lot of us don't even use it because we
At
don't know
all.
about it.
At all.
Right.
At all. And more so with that, it's not enough people explaining it to us. I look at a lot of other people who are on the social media platforms and they're just not making the time to go into detail. I like to call that the fluff. They tell you the fluff about funding and everything that's out there, but nobody's talking about the small print, which is how to qualify for this funding, how to, the step-by-step process of that. So that's what I'm going to talk about right now. And essentially, guys, this is what happened. So about 2 years ago, I ran across my CPA on TikTok Live, and I started listening to him. And now we are actually partners. And essentially, what my CPA did is he tapped into how corporations really operate. So he took a look at the model of Amazon and McDonald's and UPS. the people who've been around for a while. But then he also took a look at Walmart. If you think about it, it wasn't too long ago where nobody knew who Walmart was. So we wanted to know, how did Walmart become a household name so quickly? How did they put themselves on the map? And so essentially what I'm going to show you is exactly how a business is supposed to be set up so that it actually grows to get to the next level. But more importantly, how to do that without using the business owner's information, whether it's their personal address, phone number, email, credit score, and most importantly, that 9 to 5 income. This is about creating complete separation from your business. When we open a business, the whole point of that is so that you have an entire entity that can run on its own with or without you as the business owner. And so when we set up these LLCs, we're putting our own information out there in this. And so we wanted to backtrack on that, because if you go to the Secretary of State website, you can see all your information as the business owner when you look up your LLC. But you don't see that if you're structured as a C Corp. So the difference between what they did and what we did is structure. We set up as a LLC, which means you're a limited liability limited liability company, but it also means that you're a disregarded entity. Disregarded entity, in summary, just means that you are your business and your business is you. Here's a proof. Every time your LLC needs something, every lender is always asking about your information as the CEO. Your social is always needed. Your debt to income ratio is always needed. But when you're a C Corp, you're a private corporation. And when you get a C Corp set up, if you do exactly what these corporations did, which is hire a registered agent to set it up for you on the Secretary of State website, now you're completely hidden. You're completely private. So when you start to get funding business, they don't know who the owner is. You'll control everything in the business, but you won't own anything as far as the paperwork is concerned. This is going to be huge if you are someone who may not have such a good personal credit score. If you're in a position where you do have a lot of creditors that you owe. So now when they go look your business up, your C Corp up, your name is nowhere on there. They're going to see the registered agent's information, address, phone number as that point of contact. Now, your paperwork on the back end that you'll have is always going to show you as the president, so on and so forth. But the public does not need to know who owns that business. You want to stay completely private. So, how do corporations really work? They set themselves up as C Corps. Real quick, let's just make it simple. Imagine that you own a brand, a building, a trucking company, a management company. Instead of putting everything into one company, you separate them. Why you want to do that? Because each company has its own role. I love this screen because you hear a lot of people in our community where they're very prideful. They're like, listen, I'm a one-stop shop. If you need this, if you need that, you can come to me, right? I'm a one-stop shop. But actually, that's killing you. That's stopping you from getting a lot of funding. So, what corporations did, you got a business that owns the brand, the equipment, maybe the other business operates the business. Each company has to have its own records. So I can easily own a piece of property. I can easily own this consulting firm and then a brick and mortar business, right? So a business that needs that piece of property. But if I do them separately, we got to make sure that each company has its own records. So that means each C Corp should have its own EIN number, address, bank account. You always going to need agreements. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. So now, if I have three businesses, one owns the piece of property, one is the consulting firm, and one is a physical location. And I'll just use me. I own a Pilates studio. So now, when one of my companies provides a service for another one of my companies that's called business to business transactions. So let's take a look at an example of that. One of my favorites one of my favorite companies that do that is FedEx. So you got FedEx Office, FedEx Freight, FedEx Ground. So every time something is shipped at FedEx Office, depending on how far it has to go, they're either going to use a plane to get it there or a truck. Now, FedEx Office could have done something really simple. They could have just hired someone who already owns a plane, such as Delta. They could have hired American Airlines to get our items to the location. They could have also partnered with a local trucking company to get our items there. But instead, FedEx got smart. It created other businesses that own that plane, other businesses that own those trucks. So now I like to call it keeping it in the family, right? So now they're keeping that funding in the family. They're keeping the services in the family. Essentially, if I had a brother or a mother who owned a business, I would hire them to do things for me if their business is something that I need. So now your businesses are each clientele. Here's an example. So now when FedEx Office ships something and it has to go far, they hire FedEx Freight to get it there. So essentially, FedEx Freight simply sends an invoice to FedEx Office for the item that they're shipping. Same thing with FedEx Ground. Anytime FedEx Office hires FedEx Ground to get something to the location, FedEx Ground sends FedEx Office a invoice. Now, FedEx Office got something else going on because consumers like you and I, we walk in there and we pay them to ship our items. So they got a little black box in there. And when we tap our credit card there, that black box is owned by a merchant account company. When FedEx Freight sends an invoice to FedEx Office, when FedEx Ground sends an invoice to FedEx Office, they're all using a merchant account company. Okay. So whether it's a black box in a physical location that's processing payments, or whether you're sending an invoice, you're using a merchant account company to do that. So I specialize in the merchant account company called Stripe. If you go to Stripe's website, you're going to see this article. And they say B2B payments explain best practices and how Stripe can help. Simply put, Stripe says that if you have a C corporation, a private entity, and you do business to business transactions with another C corp, right, private entity, and you use their software to send invoices, or you got their black box at your local um then after a few months of doing that, they will actually offer you funding. Okay. So not just one of the businesses, they'll offer each one of those C corps funding without credit checks, without documentation, and you can be a new business owner. That's unheard of, just in case you guys don't know. There has never been funding available that is a traditional American way to get funding where they do not require any kind of credit checks. They do not require bank statements, tax returns, profit and loss statements. And the hardest thing to do as a new business owner is get funding. But Stripe solves all of those issues. No credit checks, no documentation needed. And most importantly, my favorite, which is you can be a new business owner. That was the number one reason my previous businesses failed, is because I was so new. And then once I was a year in there, 9 months in business, 10 months in business, I didn't have the paperwork. I didn't have the funds to hire a CPA. But there is something that is my frequently asked question, which is if they're not going to pull my credit, if they're not going to ask for documents, if I can be a new business owner, then how are they approving me? What are the approvals based off of? And the answer is structure. Whether it's this platform, a merchant account loan with Stripe, whether it's grants, which is what I specialize in also, all funding opportunities that is business funding will always require proper structure. And when I say proper structure, I mean each one of my businesses. Okay. For instance, my operating business, that would be FedEx Office, as an example. My parent company, that would be FedEx Freight, as an example, right? My real estate investment business, that would be FedEx Ground, right? So you want to essentially have multiple entities that are C Corps when you set up any type of business, okay? Each one of these businesses have to go through what I call the fundability foundation. This is the number one reason that everybody comes to me. They're like, Miss Jones, I've been in business for 7 years. I've been in business for 17 years. My business is getting good income each month, but they still will not approve me for funding. I don't understand what's the problem. The problem is the structure. And I'm talking about basics, such as the address that you used on the Secretary of State website, the phone number that you used. You cannot use your cell phone number as a business phone number when you're looking for funding. The email address, a lot of people are still using Gmails and Yahoos and MSNs as the business email, and even a website. One of the things I was paying attention to when you guys were just going through the app is all of the different features that's there, but also paying attention to what's in your footer, right? What's at the heading. There are certain things that a website, aka your app or whatever it is, there's certain requirements that's needed for your business website. We can't keep using social media platforms as a business website, right? So if you have a business website, it has to be compliant. So one of the things I talk to my clients about the most is making sure that their business website is compliant. So each business should have their own website and it needs to be compliant, such as we need to have a terms and conditions policy. We need to have a refund policy clearly stated there. We need to have the contact information at the footer. There are certain locations that these companies are looking at on your website to make sure it's in place before they approve you for funding. Now, the ironic thing here is when you get that decline letter, they're not saying all that. They're not saying none of that. They literally are saying, oh, we pulled from 3 different credit bureaus, and according to them, you just don't qualify. So I built relationships with over 1,000 lenders, and I got to get their approvals checklist. And so I took all those common denominators from that approvals checklist, and I created a system where it walks you through exactly what these, whether it's a loan, a credit card, a grant, it is walking you through step by step how to set up a new business correctly, or how to fix what's missing on your existing business so that you can apply for funding properly. But the legacy builder takes you to the next level. The legacy builder is now going to take that newly created C Corp or newly converted C Corp. So we'll convert that LLC into a C Corp, and it shows you how to get funding through Stripe without chasing clients, just simply doing business to business transactions with other C Corps that are private entities. So I'm going to stop right there, but that is exactly what a lot of business owners are missing, guys, which is knowing how to set the business up properly and knowing exactly how to fix those problems if they have. Let me see if I can stop sharing my screen real quick. There we go. Knowing how to set their business up properly, or if they're an existing business, how to fix the things that are wrong so that they can apply for funding with the confidence of knowing that it's not going to be something about the foundation that is stopping them from getting approval or getting a good interest rate if they do get an approval. So I'm gonna start right there.
Okay, that was fantastic, beautiful. Definitely learned a lot. And while you were checking off the different things on a business website needs, I was like, oh, let me see. Let me make sure it's on there, right? So yeah, that's very informative. And I know that you definitely invite people onto your platform to train them. How do they get a hold of you?
So we have my website, which is qualityjones.com. If you go to my website, my calendar is right there to book a call. If you don't have any questions, you can also enroll in any of my programs directly there at qualityjones.com. The first step is always going to be doing a scan on your business. My software, there's a free scan on my website. I'm going to show you that really quickly. Everybody should do this, and I mean do this now. There is it's called a fundability scan on my website. And can you guys see this? This is my website.
Let me bring it on board. Okay, we're there.
So if you go to qualityjones.com, it says free fundability scan. Okay. What happens here is it's going to take 60 seconds. It's going to ask you a series of questions about your business. And after you key that basic information in here, it doesn't pull a credit check or anything like that. It is going to show up and let you know exactly what needs to be fixed on your business. So exactly what can hinder you from getting approved for funding right now. And so when that results page comes up in the end, after it goes through this series of questions, it's also going to tell you how to book a call with me. So on that call, my job is to pull up your scan and go over those red flags that it showed you and tell you exactly how to fix those red flags. So I would definitely say this would be the first step I would tell everybody to go through first, because sometimes we need to see it in front of our face to understand how important it is to go ahead and start fixing those things. But it also is an aha moment. The aha is, that's what's been messing me up. And
Right.
so on that phone call, I'm able to help you more efficiently if you can already see what areas we need to work on and go ahead and get fixed so you can get that funding for your business.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Miss Lizzie.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You know, I find that a lot of, as far as our Black businesses, as I said before, you know, we are far behind in understanding the aspects of owning and operating a business. And knowing that, I look at how do we prevent that by starting out to educate us prior to starting a business. Even in high school, if you're graduating from high school, there should be classes to educate you on what you need to start a business. And I think a lot of us will be more prepared to have all of those options, you know, not all, but, you know, have some business sense, you know, because everybody does not want to go and work at McDonald's, of course. So, because, you know, you just graduated from high school, or you're getting ready to say something, Quality.
I was gonna just piggyback on that if whenever you're done.
Because a friend and I, we were just talking about that because we were talking about certification. And, you know, I'm going to say a lot of our community probably has never heard of certification.
No.
And certification is a key into, you know, going in front of some of these corporations and they're looking for minority suppliers or whatever. But those are some of the things that we do not know. And I'm saying, since we know we don't know, let's prepare and not wait for them to go and find out later,
Yeah.
years later. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, well, MelaNation App, okay, we can work on, getting people ready for this in some way
Ashe,
because it's systemic.
ashe, ashe. It's true.
One of the things I was going to mention is I saw that you guys do have a courses area in the app. I do have step by step courses where people can pause it, come back, pause it, come back. It
Absolutely.
tracks, where they pick up at, and they cannot move on to the next step of setting up a business until they complete the prior step. So it really just tells them the do's and don'ts in naming a business, because a lot of people don't even know that what you name your business can get you declined for funding if you throw yourself into what's called a high risk industry, right? So my training walks them through how to the do's and don'ts to naming a business, the do's and don'ts to proper structure, why a LLC is the right or wrong move, right? The do's and don'ts to a business address and how to get a business address so you're not using that personal address. So my course is going to walk them through that. And I love when I catch somebody as a new business owner. I love that because now I can help start it correctly, right? But a lot of times, is what I was going to say, is a lot of times, you know, what one thing I would love to see is more people who don't mind reading. We're in a microwave world, and a lot of people don't want to watch those trainings. They want to, if they do, the attention span is very short, right? When you want long term success, it's not going to be quick, but it will be correct. And if you set it up correct from the beginning, if you start your business off correctly, you never have to backtrack. You never have to worry about using your personal credit to fund your business, pulling from your savings, pulling from your stocks and bonds. It's going to be structured properly and the money is going to get thrown to you. But we got to take time. We got to read these contracts. We got to read what we're doing to know about our business. And yeah, I would love for that to be something they teach in school. My oldest daughter, she's in college in New York, and she was a business owner first. She owned the first Black owned um, studio in Phoenix, Arizona. And
Really?
so, yeah, and then that didn't last long, right? So now she backtracked. She closed the studio in Phoenix and she went to college in New York. And now she's like, Mom, most of the stuff they're teaching me in college, I already know from boots on the ground experience, real life experience, right? And so she kind of got a crash course straight into entrepreneurship, but she was wise enough to say, hold it, let me learn the book part of this, right? She learned the street part of it. Now she's going to learn the book part. So I'm excited when she graduates to see how she take what she learned prior when she owned the dance studio, and then what she's learning from college, and kind of put it together and then skyrocket whatever area that resonates with her when she graduates. But they're not teaching it. They definitely not teaching it
This
for
is true.
sure.
This is
Yeah.
definitely true.
I would also like to add that, our underserved communities, they just do not get a lot of information. So I feel that we need to think about, um, the churches, talk to them to figure out how we can incorporate some of this training, because that's where you're going to find a lot of us at church or
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
other
mm-hmm.
locations, but make it a priority to make sure that we start educating. And with this mobile app, who does not really have a phone? Everybody has a phone.
Everybody has a phone. Yeah.
Everybody, just about, babies got phones, I'm going to guess.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have access. You have access to that phone. So we want to get MelaNation app out there so that they know I have it right here in my hand. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and find what you're looking for.
Yeah. All in one place.
So, Ms. Jones, can you tell us something interesting experiences you've had in your journey?
In my business?
In your business journey, yes, indeed.
Whoa, way too many to name. Um, way too many to name. I tell you one thing that's the best part about what I do right now. I get to wake up each day and I listen to uh, people when they book calls with me. They're really booking calls with me to complain, right? They're like, this is what's going on in my life. This is why my personal credit is bad. So they want an ear to listen to, right? They want somebody to hear them and what they got going on. The best part about that is I've been there. So 100% of everybody I've spoken to in 6 years in business, um, I've never heard a story where I wasn't in the same position at some point. So my favorite experience, my most interesting experience in my business journey is seeing people, being on the phone and connecting with people um, who see a portion of them in me, and I see a portion of me in them. And so because we have that in common, we're able to get to the next level without the back and forth, right? Because you're ready. At this point, when you're on the phone with me, you're ready for a change. You're ready for transformation, right? So I love that I get to see why I went through the trials and tribulations. 6 years ago, I was homeless, sleeping in my car. Now I'm opening the first Pilates studio in the country of Belize, right? Now I get to see why I went through those trials and tribulations so that I can come back and help others. Right. So when it starts to come full circle, and that's actually my favorite part. That's my favorite experience when I start to connect the dots. When I'm talking to a client and understand why I experienced something in the past, it was so I can give this person the motivation and the information they need to grow and succeed. It's just a very fulfilling feeling for me.
Wow. You know what? You actually answered the very next question.
Yes. What kept you going through adversity?
You said that I went through these experiences so I can be that person to help the next person out. So I can prevent them from going through some of the same things that I went through, or so I can be familiar with them in their struggle.
Yeah. We hire a lot of people that have no idea what we're going through. And when you start talking, when I hear them, they're talking about, well, the last person I hired, they didn't come through for me or they didn't fulfill what they said they were going to do. And I always ask them, did you know anything about that person? Did that person know what the situation you was in? Stop hiring people that have never been where you have been. And even today is the 4 month anniversary of my daughter dying. My 25-year-old daughter died 4 months ago today. And the first thing I did when I woke up is I went for a walk to get my mind and emotions right because, typically when we're going through adversity, we want to shy away from the public, right? We want to go into solitude. Some of us go into, I like to call it victim mode. Why is this happening to me, right? I never did that. 6 years ago, being homeless, right now, going through what I'm going through, I've never experienced death. So, first time experiencing death is with my own child. I don't do that. The first thing I say is, why is this? What am I supposed to learn from this? And I also get excited because I'm like, who is he going to put in my path where me telling this testimony is going to transform them? Right. And so I've mastered how to turn my pain into power. And that's just my motivation every day. It was my motivation today because I was not going to get on TikTok Live today. I was not going to get on Facebook Lives today. And he set me straight while I was going when I went on my walk this morning, and um he gave me enough inside to be able to pour into other people today. And I got in touch with about 7,000 people today. And I love that for me. And I love that for them because it's rare that you find someone who genuinely wants to see other people succeed. So, and I know my blessings only came because I like to help others. And that's really the key to all success is when you're in a position to want more for others than you want from them. And all I want for them is success. I want to see them live a lifestyle of peace. I got so much peace over here. And that only comes from when you learn what your purpose is and you listen and you start walking in it. So, yeah.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So definitely want to say, I'm sorry about your daughter, and I understand how you took it. And I'm not gonna lie, it made my stomach turn. You know, I'm a very family oriented person, and so family is important.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I also want to say that the strength that you show, that you emulate from yourself, is a strength that our entire community really needs. And a lot of us lack that particular strength, which is not allowing situations to be reoccurring trauma.
Mm-hmm.
When we have
Mm-hmm.
traumatic events in our lives, it sets us back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you
Mm-hmm.
were able to take certain things in your life, certain adversity, and understand it in a way that's meaningful and helps you move forward. And that's a very beautiful thing. And I feel as if we can have that understanding, that mindset that you have, and it's different for everyone. Life happens, and sometimes it
Yeah.
cooks us out of the mindset that we want. But if we
Yeah.
could maintain that mindset that you have, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma is the main crutch for our people.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you for saying that. And
Also,
that's so true. So true.
no, I would like to extend my condolences as well for your daughter. And although I haven't been to your page, I will be going to find you, and I will be sharing your information. I will definitely be sharing your information because that's what I do on Facebook. I live on Facebook just to get information out to
Mm.
our community. And so I will be following you.
Yes,
Thank you
indeed.
for saying that. And I look forward to it.
So, Miss Jones, how do you define success?
You know, I hear this so much when people say the early bird gets the worm, right? And a lot of people who are successful, they'll tell you that. They'll give you that nugget. They'll say, "Listen, you got to be up before everybody else. You need to be up when everybody else sleeping." I'm opposite. I define success as a life of time freedom. And that means I wake up when I'm done sleeping. I don't
Hmm.
set no alarms. And when I wake up, my mornings belong to praise and worship. And during that praise and worship, all I'm asking is, how do you want to use me today? And then the rest of my day, I flow through life. I do whatever is on my spirit. So I define success as a life of peace and time freedom because more now than ever, from losing my daughter, I understand that my money I can get back, but my time I cannot. And so life is very short. Um, so success to me is just having a lifestyle of time freedom where you can flow through life. But my main thing is waking up when I'm done sleeping. I don't set no alarms over here. But the
Okay.
key to that success is when you're in a position to always want to help others, paying it forward. When you pay it forward, you storing up your own blessings back to back to back every time.
That makes a lot of sense to
That's
me
beautiful.
because in general, we're taught to exchange our time for money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really rough because when we're exchanging our time, they own our time. They tell
Yeah.
us when to do and what to do. They tell us when we're supposed to eat. We can't eat unless it's on there. We can't even feed ourselves until it's
Wow.
lunchtime. Like, wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait, you
Wow.
got to wake up. Get out of bed. You went to
Yeah.
bed sleeping. But hey, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm selling my time. It's not just your
Mm-hmm.
time. That's your life. That's your life energy that you're selling. So I definitely that not being restrained in that way is definitely successful. I can
Mm-hmm.
definitely agree with that. How about your model? What model do you live by?
You'll hear me saying, I'll see you at the top or from the top, the choice is yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna either see you at the top. Oh, I'm gonna see you from the top, but I'm on the top regardless. Just so you know.
You know. But I always say that after I've detailed how to come on up here with me. So
Right.
now you have the information. So now you have a choice. You can apply it and come on up here with me, or I'm not gonna feel bad looking at you from the top because I didn't did my
Hey,
part. I didn't
yes,
give you the
indeed.
information.
I agree.
But yeah, that's my motto.
This is true. So, out of the things that you've learned through your business, and you explain. So what I liked about what you explained is you went into the businesses that you tried out first, and you let us know they didn't last a year.
Mm-mm.
But the next thing you did was an evaluation, right? You did a self evaluation and was like, hold on, what caused me not to be successful? And
Mm-hmm.
then you made that a life lesson, a life journey to teach that information.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
during that journey, would you do anything differently?
The only thing I would do differently, I say this all the time, is I would get on social media sooner. When
Mm,
I tell you, my sister was like, you got so much you can do if you just get on TikTok. I'm like, nah, 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 not doing that, right? I would have got on TikTok so much sooner because now in 2026 is a lot of changes happening on social media in general. But right now they're just using me to train AI, and they told us that. So, but that's
oh,
the only thing I would do. I would get on social media sooner, but at the same time, it happened right on time. Um, One of the examples I use on my lives is sometimes when life is lifening, it's not punishment, it's positioning. And so now I realize when I was homeless 6 years ago and I was sleeping in Altima, and my sister finally got through to me and I hopped on TikTok for the first time, that was positioning me for this life I live today. Right. And so it really was right on time when I did. But I do say that a lot. The only thing I would have done differently is I would have been created a profile on social media.
right. And I kind of got into social media a little late. I mean, what was it
Mhm.
first? What was the one where you can change the background and what was that?
MySpace.
MySpace. I was the
That was a
last one
long
to get
time
on a
ago.
MySpace. By the time I got on MySpace, it shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't
Yeah.
get on Facebook, and I was that guy too. And I'm still in that way. I'm not really overly familiar with most social media platforms, not even the biggest ones. I do know they're separated, and like Facebook is normally the elder crowd, my
Mm-hmm.
generation. Then you got TikTok for the younger crowd, but TikTok is more, you know, it's you can explode. You can get
Mm-hmm.
out to more people. I'm just learning these things, but I'm not on any of those others. I'm on Facebook. That's about it right
Mm-hmm.
now. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be on MelaNation when it comes out. So, while serving the community,
Mm,
what lessons have you learned?
man, I think I listed a lot of them already.
You
The
did.
first thing I learned is when you want more for others than you want from others, you killing two birds with one stone. That first stone is you're storing up your own blessings, but that second one is a gratification that you can't get from nothing else on earth. When you really get to see somebody start from scratch and you are part of seeing them come to the top, what are you sad about? Like I have nothing to be sad about. It's just like, but serving the community, so many lessons there. But the number one lesson is no matter how hard life is lifing in for you, you know, do what you can to serve. And when you're putting yourself in a position to serve, one thing that happens for sure is you're not so focused on that negative, what's going on in your life, but it also helps pass the time. So next thing you know, you look up and that next blessing is blowing your way.
Ashe, that's a beautiful philosophy. I definitely like that. So, what do you see for yourself? in the future. So let's say if your future self came to you and you had a conversation with your future self, how would you like that? What would you like to hear in that conversation?
uh, you were right.
Ah,
Because, we all know what woman's intuition is. And I'm a December Sagittarius, and I think I got that 10x. And then I spent a lot of time in solitude. And when I spend all this time in solitude, I come out with solutions. And so every now and then I'll be like, are you really, is this for real? Are you tripping? Or you just, you second guess yourself. And every single time I've been right. So I would like that conversation to be like, you were right for listening to your gut, listening to your woman's intuitions, and thank you for making those moves, moving when he said move, because he hasn't failed me yet. When he say move, I move, and every single time I was right. It was
okay,
the right move. Yeah,
beautiful thing. And you brought up a phenomena that is true to life. Sometimes you'll go to sleep and you'll wake up with an answer that wasn't there before,
yeah,
and when you're in solitude, and you're in communion, you receive those downloads, that
yeah.
information, you receive that communication, and it just everything unfolds in the right direction for you. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that we definitely have the ability to do. So, shout
And it's
out to that.
hard in this world where social media. It's really a challenge for a lot of people to be by themselves, right? To be able to shut out the noise and go into, it used to be, what is it, going to the closet, and then go in the closet into prayer. But a lot of people don't know how to be by themselves. A lot of people don't know how to prune, the unnecessary people around them, get rid of them, so that you can really listen to yourself and be grounded and tap into yourself, and make moves according to what aligns with you, and not what will please other people, right? So
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a community, it's very important to be grounded because the community starts
Hmm.
with self. And if you are not healing yourself, you're not grounding yourself, then it's hard to be useful to the community. It's hard
Very hard.
to your family because the next step up is going to be the family, your household,
Yeah.
right? You put a few households together, then we have a small community in larger and larger circles. But
Hmm.
it starts within. It starts within ourselves and grounding ourselves. And again, we were talking about trauma earlier, and I see that your outlook on life, regardless of the philosophies that you have, your just general outlook gives you an advantage. It allows you to accept the information from the divine and have those downloads so that you can make proper decision making. And I just think you're a beautiful person for that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. So if you can, this is the last thing I'm going to ask from you here. Um, if you can speak to the audience, go ahead and give us some jewels, some sound advice. Let us know what's on your mind.
If you are not living your idea of success, because everybody has their own idea what success is, but if you are not living your idea of success right now, at this moment, what are you waiting for? You cannot get what happened yesterday. You cannot get that back, and you can't undo it. What you can do is position yourself right now so that the next day, the next second, the next hour, the next minute is a new position that can get you closer to what your idea of success is. You are worthy of that exact vision that you are holding on to. I envision this exact lifestyle, the car I'm driving, the way I carry myself, the heart that I have. I envisioned this. And I went through a lot of struggles, 18 times of being evicted. until I got in and I made it, because I knew I was worthy. And it starts with mindset. Put yourself into a different mindset, get away from anything that is not adding to you, and be around people that can add to you, not just people that can subtract. And when you do that and understand the difference between being lonely and by yourself, a shift is going to happen. But it all starts with mindset. Start thinking about a forever money mindset. And when you change your mindset, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So start figuring out how to hang around people that can help you change the way you look at things. That's what I'm saying.
Beautiful. Yes,
You
indeed.
are you are an inspiration.
Thank you.
This shouldn't be about finance. This should be about life. That's beautiful. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning is that she's chosen finance, but she would have been successful in any area that she ventured into because of her overall look on life and how she just powered over certain adversities. And that's just, it's phenomenal. Like, it gives me tingles. I'm not going to lie. Like, who can stop you when you have that type of outlook,
Mm,
right?
man.
But I'm glad you did go into the financial area because that is a very useful area for our community
Absolutely.
overall. That's something that we really need, and we don't have a lot of people that are sharing those techniques and those skills. But as a person, I just see just a vibrant person. So I just see someone who has the ability to go in any direction that she chose.
Mm.
Very,
And we want you back.
we want you back.
Oh yeah, I will be. Look, I didn't set the timer now for September of 2027 for this app, so I can
Yes,
see how I can collab with you guys and get some free information in there or something, because people do need to know how to get this done properly. Because you can make a mistake and become a business owner nowadays. You can
yes.
go viral on social media without even trying, and if you don't set it up properly right now, you're gonna find yourself in a lot of situations, bad contracts and things like that. So yeah, I'm looking for y'all now.
Well, that's all that we have here for this session.
Thank
And
you so much.
I want to, Miss Lizzie, did you want to say anything to the audience before we shut everything down?
We're here and we're gonna keep, putting it out there. Come join us. Come join us
Come
because
join us.
the best is yet to come.
Yeah,
Mm.
we're just starting out. We're very beginning in the beginning phases, so come and join us. But other than that, thanks for watching. See you again next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. In between time, in the meantime, reach out to us on Facebook, on Messenger, MelaNation App. Ashe,
Have a good night, guys.
good night.
Ashe, ashe.